Oh yeah, for some reason I'd always thought that. And then you did the Chain of Strength, which by the way, this isn't all from memory. I have a little list over here to the side. Did you do? Was it live shots for that one too?
I think there's only and that's like the 12-inch repress.
Mm-hmm.
There's only just one little photo in there of mine. Um, I'd have to look, but it's yeah. I don't have any of the big photos or anything. I think I'd have to look.
And then
I
you
haven't
did.
listened to.
And then you did Outspoken too. You did the Light in the Dark. Did you do all the photos in that, or
I don't know if I have any photos on that. I'd have to revisit that. I know I have photos on the current seven.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, you did the one, and also I wanted to talk. You were there the days that the boys all got. Well, not all of them, but Travis and Mike and maybe Jay got the circle on the small of their back because you started
Yep.
getting the Tidbit logo. And
Yep.
I'd always wanted to ask you because Dan Adair was doing the tattoos, former bass player of Outspoken, started that tattoo, and there was a lot of black on it. And I remember he started; it was huge, but he had to
Yeah.
stop. He had to remember because we had to get to the show because they were playing a
Yep.
house in
Yep.
San
In
Diego.
San Diego. Yeah.
First of all, were you mad when we had to leave mid tattoo? I'd always wanted to ask you that.
No,
Okay,
I was because I think I don't think Dan charged any of us money.
okay.
So I got my first tattoo for free, essentially.
That was
And
your
it,
first tattoo? Was that big tidbit thing?
yeah, yeah,
No way.
yeah.
Wow.
I got that, and yeah, and that went unfinished until I moved to New Jersey about 3 or 4 years into living in New Jersey. I got it filled in.
So this whole time I was thinking, oh, maybe he was like upset about not getting to finish that tattoo, but it wasn't a big no big deal. You would just get it
No,
filled in
no,
later.
I mean, I at the time I had no idea what it took to do tattoos or how long it would take or what went into it. It was just kind of like, oh, I want this, and yeah, everybody was getting tattoos, but we had a show to get to,
Well,
so
and that tidbit logo, but here's the thing: your first tattoo wasn't some small little like that. Tidbit logo was big.
that's one thing with me. Well, I seem to go big and stupid on things. So when I dive into something, first time I did like a linoleum block print, I did a 3 color, not a single color. I did a 3 fucking color linoleum block. I had to get 3 blocks. I had to do it all, carve each block and then print it, come up with a registration. So that's kind of just my style, is to, I guess, to jump in like an idiot into the deep end.
What else did you have on the current? Like you did you
I
do the cover and
I did a couple live shots, individuals, member live shots, and then I took the picture of them on the steps.
what was it like being at those steps from The Exorcist? Like were you
It was
did
cool.
I was gonna say, did you care about that movie? Did you what were your thoughts?
It's the, I'm not a huge horror movie fan.
Come on, Dave. Horror movies are great.
I like I like old monster movies for sure, and I like I watched all the Freddy and the first Freddy's and Jason movies and when I was a kid, but I just those don't totally appeal to me. But The Exorcist is one movie that I have a hard time watching because it scares the shit
Yeah.
out of me.
Oh yeah. I
It,
don't want to.
it,
I will not want yeah. No, 100%, 100%.
it is such a well-made movie that it sucks you in. You're just like, fuck. So, yeah, it was cool, and it's funny because I hadn't seen the movie in so long. I still haven't seen it in ages, but it's kind of like I've seen the scene since then, and was like, oh shit, yeah, look at that. And it's kind of interesting to think back of how movie magic essentially like it's not near anything and like that would take place in the movie and on the set and but they find this location and they used it and it's like kind of cool to think about that too.
Well, I mean, what's amazing is also you watch The Exorcist now. Like I will watch it, but only in the day because it's like that and the movie The Strangers. Those are like two horror movies that just like scare me, like you said.
Yeah.
But like The Exorcist, those effects still hold up. Like I don't watch it going, oh my God, that looks. I mean, and so you bring up a really good point. And so you guys shot like, had it been the plan to shoot at those steps, or did it just sort of present itself? And it was like, hey, this is a good picture, let's take it. Then it ended up on the record, or?
I think it was just something that it presented itself. We think that was our first time in DC for a lot of us, and we were staying with Mike DC and the McTurnans.
Great people.
Best people. And Mike was showing us around, and I don't know if somebody in the group said, "Hey, let's go over there," or he initiated that. But yeah, we went over there, and I think I took like 3 photos, and that was one of them. The one used on the record was one of them. And it's funny because it's hard to see, but you can see we had to wait for people running up and down the steps because people were using it basically as their Stairmaster. And
I can't blame them.
Yeah, exactly. So they like Mike went to the top, and you can kind of see him at the top, and then there's also a person at the top of the steps. And basically, it was kind of like those guys. We waited for this person to run up the steps. They sat down, and then I just kind of held my camera up. And as soon as the person I thought was the person was out of the frame, I snapped it, and that was it.
Thank you for telling me that. Like seriously, that's just so rad to know. Like I've seen that picture for forever, and I just thought, oh, they just went over there and lazily set it up and just not like lazily, but more like it was easy to like just get this shot, and there was a lot to it.
I think that waiting period is part of the reason why it looks so natural, because those guys they didn't know what to look at. They were starting to look around, and so that's why you have some different looks by the guys in the band, because we were waiting for that person to get to the top of the steps.
I love it. So you had that shot, and then okay, yeah, I know. And you told me which other ones you had. What about it's instead, like, did you have stuff on all the records, or was it What We Believe? Was it?
I think there's a small one on the 7-inch. Will Make the Difference. I think I have a small one on that. I don't know if anything ended up on What We Believe. And the maddening thing is I actually don't have that on vinyl, so I can't even look.
Really?
But I think I have some photos in the reissue that Mandel did on Indecision.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have a thing of the vinyl. I have a copy of what you just said. Like, but that vinyl, correct me if I'm wrong, is everything. It's all the compilations of all the instead stuff.
It's basically their discography. It's everything on the vinyl, a couple records. Yeah.
For Mean Season, did you have stuff on Grace and the Bleed to Me 7-inch?
No, I did not have any photos on that record, the Grace record, but a photo I made was used. Hartsfield liked it, and the band liked it, and they used it as a promo poster for Grace.
Oh, okay. So that wait. Promo poster for Grace. So can you describe? Because I'm sure I've seen the poster. Like I had to. Because you also took the promo poster of Popeye, where you could literally cut him out, put him against cardboard, you'd have your own Popeye doll, right? It's from the Macondo? Yeah. Okay.
I think that picture of Popeye is from the Toe Jam, maybe.
Oh God! See! All this time I was thinking that it was from the Macondo. Darn it! See, this is what I love about this. I find out how I've been wrong over the years. I love it.
It's amazing how wrong our memories are, right?
Oh yes, and but that's part of the beauty of it. It's like when I went to after years of being away, going to my old elementary school. It's like, man, this is small. Like thinking it was this massive, because when you're a kid, it's this institution, and then
Yeah. So the picture of Popeye with the welding goggles that was on the '92 tour poster. That was, I think, the Toe Jam. And that picture, actually, if you look closely, if anybody has one of those posters, you can see where it's blended together. Where I had my negatives developed, they cut that negative right in half.
Okay.
So I made a print. I taped them as close together as I could, made a print, but there was a gap. And then before Photoshop, you had to paint it in. And Jordan was like, "I'll do that." So he painted the print in, and they used that as the poster.
So, but okay, so the one from the goggles is the toe jam, and the one of him like springing up, that's not the Macondo. No. Yeah, both of them.
That's a Macondo, but that's a Mandel photo.
So Mandel did the one. Okay, so the Mandel of him in the white shirt springing up is Mandel. The one of in the goggles smiling is at the toe jam. Yes, because that toe jam show was with 411.
Probably, yeah.
Gotcha. Because no, you took a lot of really good pictures at that. Because I remember Kevin talking about after he played that 411 show completely. He said, "This is the first show I've ever played where I faced my amp the entire time." Like he's.
Yeah, it's funny when it came to pictures of 411, having seen No for an Answer and Carrie Nation, everybody focused on Dan.
Right.
And so like I would, whenever 411 played, I would focus more on the other three guys. I would try to if I could get a good picture of Dan, I would, but I would try to my best to get pictures of Mario, Josh, and Kevin.
Didn't you get the back cover shot on the 411 This Isn't Me 12-inch?
I think Mandel did that one. I think I did the individual. I have some on the insert.
Gotcha. Okay. For some reason I thought.
I think Dan didn't credit me on that.
Ah, see, look, we're righting a lot of wrongs here now. We are fixing this up.
Yeah, that happened from time to time. Oh, but to go back to the mean season photo is it's a picture I took without a flash, so it's high contrast of the members. I think like Aaron's got his hand in the air, and kind of like guitar players and whatnot. So yeah, that was. I still have one of those posters in my archives.
That was my other question: is do you have actually no, you don't, because you just said it. I was gonna say, do you have copies of all these things that you've done? And it sounds like you strike me as someone that has a lot of them, but you don't have everything.
Yeah.
They just kind of been lost to time or something?
Some things have been lost to time. Some things I just never got. Like I never got a copy of the 411 discography from Dan. I asked him once, but I never pestered him. I'll get it eventually.
Gotcha.
But yeah, certain things I've lost. But if it's a record, I usually have it. If it's a book, it's probably on my shelf right here next to me.
Right. Good.
Most things, because I've been lucky enough to, if a band used one of my photos, they've always been pretty good at making sure they gave me a copy of it. So,
except for me, when I did that Orange County Hardcore Scenester promo cover, and I thought I'd given you one, and then you hit me up, and then thankfully you hit me up, and I'm...
It's funny because you might have, because it's actually, I can see the envelope that you sent it to me.
Well, I know that you're credited. Like, that was my big thing before I did everything, was going through crediting and getting permission. And I remember, because it took me forever just sending out stuff, and I remember screenshotting every single response, because everybody was great. Everybody said yes. But you just don't know, like... I'm not a contract person. Like, I don't like any contracts and this, and maybe I should be, but to me, it's just like, that's not what a lot of this is about. It's about, hey, none of us are going to make any money on this stuff, but I want to celebrate what you did. Can I? Yes. Okay, I'm just going to make a screenshot so that.
Yeah, I think you did send me one with the initial DVD. Because as soon as I saw the ones you sent flat, I was like, oh yeah, this looks really familiar, and I haven't located what the ones you maybe sent with the DVD, but yeah, I was like, oh, cool.
Cool. Well, I'm just glad that you hit me up, and that at least you got more of what you did. It was just even though that cover was it was like that was just like a promo cover. and I wouldn't do this now, but I think I made up like 1,000 of them. And I don't understand why I did that, because I was never going to send out 1,000 promo DVDs. I think that it was more of just like, I don't want to have to worry about ever having these. Because then, you know, I made up like 1,000 for the actual DVD release, but Gavin did the cover for that. And so you know, it just made sense. And, you know, and also it made sense to have him do that because he's Gavin, and, you know, you want, you know, I'm saying if you're going to have art, not art, if you're going to have like artwork like that, who would you get to represent Orange County Hardcore? You know,
his art is always much better than mine.
No.
I have so much love for Gavin's art. His stuff is awesome. One thing you could always do a limited edition versions of it. You know, I mean, that's always a thing when hardcore.
No, that's actually a really, you know what, I'm gonna write that down. That's actually a really, really, really good idea. And by the way, by art I meant more like hand, like painting and stuff like that. Like I wouldn't go and get some random painter to do Orange County Hardcore Scenester stuff. I would get Gavin. If I need pictures, I think of you. You think of Dave Sine. You think of Kirk Dominguez. You know, you think of like these people that were like, we talked about it initially, like you guys for a great reason, you just found this stuff. At least I'm thinking you felt this stuff was important and you wanted to document it. I'm thinking, right?
That's part of it, but also, I mean, the basic start of it was just to get photos for my zine. But yeah, it was cool to document it. I mean, a lot of times I didn't take as many pictures as I would like because I was limited funds, limited film. Stuff like that, but so I wish I took more photos, but yeah, I mean, it was both kind of a documentary thing, but also just make a zine. I want to have cool photos for my zine.
You know, I have a final question, and you actually just made me think of it because you're a photographer, and you still shoot film, which is, as we know, like the rarest of the rare things. Years ago, Hartsfield and Kent McClard called me because they were looking for they had negatives, and they were trying to get the negatives, pictures of them so they could use them for something. I forget what the whole deal was. And then I bought this machine that you could put things in and you take a picture of it, and it would do that with negatives. Now there's an app, called Slit Scan, where you literally hold it up to a light and you take a picture with your phone and it can do it. My question to you is, and I remember I jokingly made up something like that when I was talking to Kent and Hartsfield, and Kent goes, "Oh yeah, next thing you're going to tell me is I can take pennies and weave them into gold." But my question for you is, as a photographer, I don't know if you're a purist, but I'm saying as someone that is still shooting film, what's your thought on that kind of thing? Is it cool, bad, or you don't even think about it?
I don't really think about it, honestly. I think it's cool. It really kind of depends on what you want to do with it. For me, I buy a flatbed scanner, and that can scan negatives. That's how I do it. And I'll file away the negative carrier so I can make sure I get the full frame, to make sure I get everything that I want from an image. Something similar to what I would do if I was in the darkroom. And in some ways I'm a purist, but it's mostly just when digital photography came into the mix, I didn't have the money for a digital camera, and so I just never got there. And and as it progressed, it's like, well, also I'm not, in a technical sense, not a good photographer. I don't know f-stops and all the really technical things that make a good photographer. I'm
the exact same way with video. Yeah. So no, you're making me feel very good right now.
So instead, what I did is kind of, as things progressed, instead of looking towards new technology and digital and crisp, clear images, it's like I went the other way. I went to old cameras, 100-year-old, 50-year-old cameras, and got into making photos with that and embracing the imperfections. Because sometimes some of the best photos you see across the punk rock world are probably slightly out of focus, slightly this, slightly off in some ways. And that's part of the beauty of it.
Well, it goes back to what you were saying about that Outspoken picture. Like, that picture looks great, and it's buoyed by the fact of you guys had a very imperfect, situation in which you had to get that picture.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't use a flash, so like when you make the print to make sure that they're good, you can't. It kind of blows out the top of the top of the steps, so you can't see that runner and Mike at the top of the steps so clearly. But yeah, it's just like I've kind of just embraced the imperfections of film and just it's more fun. I don't the crisp, clear, perfect image I admire, but I don't have those skills to get there. So I celebrate what I have and run with it.